Cyrus's adventure in the Glade continues, and the breathtaking beauty of the Life Lab gives even more weight to the struggles in Rene. Are you ready to break down the episode? It's time for another edition of TABTA, right after a message to our heroes of Edara. Hello, everybody, and welcome to TABTA, the adventure behind the adventure to the Seventh Valkyrie, where we break down the episodes, give you the story behind the story, and watch one guy go from total obscurity to maybe writing 7 seasons in a movie. We don't know what's going to happen, but that's why you're here with us. That's why we're celebrating this little adventure that happens behind the adventure. So we got into Watchers for the Wild Part 3 on Friday. We have Cyrus and Misty exploring the Life Lab, kind of taking a moment to really discover all these things that are happening. We see that there's this body of research, and it's not just happening here in Rene, but there is a growing desire and a scientific mindset almost to try to understand all these dynamics around this magical world, and getting to bring in some of the scientific elements of this story. It waits a little bit longer, because this isn't necessarily science fiction, but there is a system that operates in the background, and it is, I'll reveal more about that as we go. But what I liked getting to do in this chapter, and what I liked that we're starting to see, is that these are smart, resourceful people out there also trying to understand their world and see how it can be helpful, see how it can be, a tool of war, see how it can be a tool of knowledge, a tool of healing, a tool of adventure, a tool of work and feeding people. And it's cool, in my opinion, to get to discover all, just a taste of all these efforts that are going on as people try to build these magical and sort of fantastical elements into their society and into the way that they follow their kind of way of life. This chapter also gives us a little taste of kind of what we're really fighting for. Cyrus has been kind of battered around, beaten back and forth, and he hasn't really had anything that's really caught him and inspired him in this way in a while. He's kind of just been trying to survive. And so reminding us and reminding Cyrus that there is some purpose to find in this world behind desperately fighting for survival makes that conflict way even heavier, because it's like, wow, there's so much potential and so much beauty and so much room for joy in this world, and it is not being, it has not been the focus of our journey so far. Behind the scenes notes, you can kind of see the influences of me living in Costa Rica. People here are intensely aware of their relationships with the natural world around them, especially some of the very best businesses I've gotten to work with here. It's really incredible getting to see the way that they intimately know not just their ecosystem, but how their community is affected by them. And you see some of those elements sneaking their way into how the old city operates, into how people are kind of engaging with nature the way they are at the Life Lab. And I love getting to kind of share that. The other connection back to my life that I like to share here is there is a very wise woman in my life named Missy Lane, and you can definitely see a little bit of her spirit and influence in the character of Misty. People who know her will be able to make those connections, and I won't get too deep into telling you about people from my life. A lot of times people will, as I'm writing, the essence or soul of someone who I know and care about deeply will kind of emerge or leave an imprint on a character, and rather than trying to wash it too far away, I kind of like to just laugh about it, because it's like, hey, I like to take the fragments of wonderful souls I've gotten to connect with in my lifetime and bring them into this story and give them new life and bring them into kind of a new perspective. So, Hope you guys have liked the new kind of slightly different format to TABTA. I'm going to be working on giving you guys a little bit more insight into the episodes, a little bit more focus on that rather than quite as much of the production diary stuff, though giving you guys a little taste of behind the scenes as we go. For more of the kind of personal musings, thoughts on the stuff, that's going to be for the inner circle for the Heroes of Edara. If you guys didn't catch that part, that means you're probably listening to the public episode. The whole TABTA archive is available on our Patreon, and there's a lot more coming in the future. Stay tuned to TABTA. Going to be giving you guys, a little bit more of our weekly listeners, something to chew on as we talk about these episodes and as we get deeper into this season. And yeah, just looking forward to keeping you guys posted, keeping you guys updated, and continuing to share this awesome adventure as Seventh Valkyrie really is starting to take on a life of its own. More on that later, but for now, stay tuned for this Friday when we got another episode, Watchers for the Wild Part 4. This is the longest chapter we've ever done because it had, I think the net audio of it was about an hour and 6 minutes, so there's a lot to tell, and this is going to be a big, chunky episode. So all my long listeners, brace yourself for a 25er, not a 15er. But yeah, cheers to you guys. Have a great start to your week, and we'll see you guys on Friday.